Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be explaining what the silicon lottery is. No, not that one. That one. About processors. And in my previous video you may have heard me mention the silicon lottery. What is it? Chip manufacturers like AMD and Intel, Intel has the Intel Core i3, i5, and i7, and AMD has Ryzen 3, 5, and 7. Obviously they have other types of processors and other names, but right now I'm just going to be going off with those two, and I'm going to focus really on Intel, because Intel is who is kind of famous for it. Alright, so the base of the silicon lottery is that not all processors are the same, like I mentioned in my last video. Out of the batch of processors, you might have really good ones, and you might have ones that just barely meet the specifications for that processor. So that has to do from Intel, if you get a K processor. K means that it's unlocked and you can overclock it. If you get one of those processors, the silicon lottery determines how much extra performance you can get out of it. So you get a processor that the base speed is 3 gigahertz and the boost clock is 3.7, which is what my Ryzen 7 1700 is stock. So that's the base processor speed. And the thing about turbo speed is that it only enables one or maybe two cores to go up to 3.7 gigahertz. And the silicon lottery will determine how much higher than that you can go on all of the cores, because when you overclock a processor, it applies to all of the cores, not just one. So if you did really good in the silicon lottery, you might be able to push that processor that's base speed is 3 gigahertz all the way to 4.1 gigahertz, maybe even 5 gigahertz. But if you did really poor, you only get 3.7 gigahertz. So that's sort of what the silicon lottery is, but there's also more to it. Now, this is where Intel comes in. Sometimes, if they had a defective Intel i7 that still vastly outperforms an Intel i5 or an i3, but it's not as powerful as the i7 should be, it can't handle the voltage, or it can't go up to the speed that it's supposed to. What they might do is they might say disable two of the cores and disable some of the settings so that it is an Intel i5 processor, and then sell it as an i5. And if you are really tech savvy, I have no experience with this, but I've heard of people that have been able to re-enable those cores. So while they don't have the performance of an i7, they still just bought an i5 and have a processor that vastly outperforms an i5. And the same can be true for i3s with i5s. An i5 might underperform and become an i3 processor. So that's basically the silicon lottery in very basic terms, because all processors are not created alike off of an assembly line. Some are defective, some are overachievers. So yeah, it's pretty nice if you really do good in it, and hey, good for you. Your processor that's supposed to run at 3.7 gigahertz runs at 5? Great for you. That's all for this video. If you learned something if you didn't dislike, comment, tell me what I can do better. Thank you.